Welcome to Wolf's Watch. I'm Wolf, and we got some good news for you on Friday. Check this out. You ready? Breaking news. Talent is becoming more available for business owners, for employers that are hiring. Yeah, the talent market has been brutal, especially the last couple of years, hasn't it? Constantly hearing about the great resignation, people not wanting to come back to work, how hard it is to find talent, find the right people for the right job. Let alone just getting anybody, right? I've heard many business owners talk about, you know what, we just need to get people in seats at this point. Well, here's some great news. That is in the process of changing. If you look at all the people that are being laid off from Twitter, hearing from Amazon, from a lot of the big tech companies that had overhired, they are now adjusting. So a lot of people, tens of thousands of people are hitting the street. It's not just in that industry. There's going to be lots of other adjustments as well, which means for you, entrepreneur, I'm talking to you. Yes, with small business, you got 25, 49 people on your team, maybe up to 200. You're looking to hire, finding the right people with the right talent to fit in your organization is going to be increasingly easier as more and more people are finding themselves looking for a new opportunity. You know what? Here's something to consider too. This is a golden opportunity to be able to recruit top talent from companies that are still working. Now, a lot of times it's a little dicey when you're hiring people that have been released from their company. You want to make sure there's a lot of good people that are no longer a good fits, not the right fit, not the right skill, right time, whatever it may be, that are they're being laid off from their current jobs, particularly in the tech sector right now. May want to watch out for some of the people in the crypto market. If you know what I mean, you've been reading the headlines. We'll just leave that crash where it's already burned. The thing is, with so many people being laid off, that means there's going to be a lot of top talent that's kind of going, I'm ready for a new opportunity. I'm looking for some stability. I'm looking for an opportunity to grow because this company's shrinking. See, in the mid 90s, I was working with companies that were in the aerospace industry. In a 10-year period, aerospace went from 136 companies that were prime contractors. That means they contracted directly with federal government, with large agencies that are buying launch systems, aircraft, big programs, right? They're buying parts to resupply other material. Went from 136 to 9 in less than a decade. It was brutal. There were a lot of good people that ended up, making career changes in Southern California, not just Southern California, in southwestern Los Angeles County during that time. Still gets me choked up. There were 450,000 people and then some. Think about that. 450,000 people that were in the top quartile, top 25% of income that were permanently put on the street. The jobs just didn't exist anymore because of the shift in the industry. Now, I'm not predicting we're going to see that kind of a shift right now. The reason I bring that up is there were thousands of people who were top talent that were inside those companies that are watching people get laid off, going out the door, 10% reduction in force, another 10% reduction in force. I was running a training company at one organization that was laying people off out of the training that I was running at the time. It was crazy. You hear announcements, people being announced over the PA. Bob Smith, please report to human resources. You knew what was happening, right? They were gone. That person was being walked out that day. And some of them had been with the company 10, 20 years. So with so much displacement right now, with so much uncertainty around a lot of what's going on within a lot of companies, that gives you a golden opportunity to be turning on the recruiting lamp and saying, you know what? We are growing. We are looking for top talent. We've got a home for you to have some certainty what's going on in your future, opportunity to grow as the company continues to grow and not be living under that constant threat, that kind of like, man, is it person on this side of me has been laid off, person on that side of me has been laid off. Am I next? Top performers, people that are bringing top talent, come in your organization, they're looking for an opportunity to go, man, I want to go now because it's always been true. It's easier to find a job. We still got a job. Turn that recruiting lamp on. Now, here's can I tell you some hard truth? Really? Let me just between us. Just between us on this. This is some hard truth. Here's 3 reasons why you're going to completely blow this opportunity to bring top talent onto your team. The first one is your recruiting. You turn that recruiting lamp on. Are you really ready? Can you really effectively recruit? Now, there's a couple ways that you can mess that up. One is just not have the credibility with the people that you need to bring in, that you want to bring onto your team. Second is not having the positions ready for them. You know that someone's top talent. You want to have them on your team, but you just you're not ready to bring them on somewhere, have a position recreated for them. Third thing is you just don't know how to screen the right people. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Like I said, this is going to be some hard truth. This is just the first of 3. You're not ready to recruit because you just don't have a recruiting process that's set up. How do you screen? What do you screen on? How do you know that if this person has a lot of talent, how do you still know that the right person to bring on for your team? Are you screening on the right criteria? Are they a good match? Are they a good fit in the organization? Right? The best person in the entire world at what they do is going to just absolutely destroy your organization if they're not a good fit. If they don't get along. And I don't mean get along to go along kind of BS. I mean, if they don't have the same perspective, the same drive, they don't collaborate well, they don't work with and uplift the other team members when you bring them on, where they're not able to operate in an environment where, everybody works hard. They also support each other. Everybody knows a lot and they share that. Someone goes out for training, they come back in, they bring that knowledge that they've gained back into your organization and share it with others. Not that, okay, now I've got this, I'm going to advance my career with this, I'm going to hold on to it really tight. I've seen that happen. Watch companies go into death spirals over that kind of internal culture. So that's the first thing. You're probably going to miss this opportunity to recruit top talent because your recruiting process sucks. You're just not prepared. You're doing what everybody else is doing, and you're going to flounder just like them. Here's the second thing. You are not creating a culture that attracts top talent. You can make all the offers you want to, and someone that's already in high stress environment, high fear environment, because they're watching what's going on. They're not sure if they're going to be at that company longer, or if that company's even going to be around longer. You see that with some of the headlines on some of the tech companies where they're shedding excess staff, and now it's coming down to, man, is everybody going to jump ship and just take the company down? That creates a negative internal environment where really, really good people start going, you know what, I'm going to exercise my options while I can, just in case. But they come and they talk to you, they interview, they look around. What is it that's going to attract them to your company? And I tell you what, foosball tables and skateboard parks ain't going to cut it. That's not what it's about. I mean, there's a whole generation out there that started out with that, particularly in the tech industry, that now have mortgages, families, kids, responsibilities. And sure, they love to play. And yes, to have a creative, fun environment is nice, but that's not what it's really about. What is really going to engage them in your company? Why should they say yes to you if they've got options? Are you even thinking about that? Do you have the mindset of creating an internal environment that is just as much of a beautiful marketing campaign as you have spent so much blood, sweat, tears, and money to create to bring new clients on board? It's still a sale, right? You're selling your company as a place for someone to grow their career, to have good alignment with where they want their career to go. Are you doing it? Are you even thinking about it that way? So that's the second way that you can blow this opportunity. Third way is to not have a growth plan for the next 5 years. To not be looking for and seeing the opportunities while companies around you, companies in your industry, your competitors flounder. And it's tough times right now. Right? It's a tough market still. And guess what? It's going to be for a couple of years. Inflation, it's flattened out. So the rate of inflation isn't increasing. Inflation is still with us. So it's still a completely different environment than it was 12 months, certainly 18 months ago. Supply chain disruptions are still going to be coming. Energy problems. There's a lot on the horizon that's going to be coming in the next 6 months, next 12 months. Big money in the investment community is betting on recession. Still, we've been talking about this. If you've been watching, been part of the conversation for the last year, this is something that has been a frequent topic. And this isn't a gloom and doom prediction. This is a think it through and be prepared. If you're not doing that, how are you going to know what talent to bring on board? Right? So say you don't screw up on the first one. Say you've got a golden recruiting process. Second, you've got a great environment, a great culture. People are lining up to want to work at your company. Third is still an area where you very likely are going to drop the ball. It's like, what talent do you need over the next 5 years to grow your company beyond even what you think you can do? The leadership team that you need. Are you developing that? Too often, I hear entrepreneurs just not focused on that. Are you setting up a leadership team so that you can step back? Or are you going to continue to run a company that only survives as long as you're there? Thinking about legacy, and that's going a little bit farther, but it ties into that longer term view. So think about that. That's 3 reasons that this is a golden opportunity, and this is breaking. This week I've been hearing more and more business leaders talk about this. So I really think this is a breaking topic because you're going to be a little bit ahead of the curve if you start really looking for talent when you recruit, not hire. Hiring, that's just like going, okay, we got a job. Everybody line up. Come here, talk to us. It's, well, okay, yeah, we'll pick you. Mm-mm. This is an opportunity where you can go out and get unbelievable talent that you can have confidence, can run your company, will run your company, will grow it as part of your team. But got to have a good recruiting process. Got to have the kind of company that top talent, top 1% in their industry, in their occupation is what they do. Top 1% of COOs for companies that have 100 employees, for example, would want to work there, that would walk across broken glass for the opportunity to have a leadership role in your company. Or, if it's somebody that's doing maintenance, it's not as glamorous a job, same thing, would want to work there because of the environment that you've created. And the third thing is really knowing what those talents are that you're going to need to move forward over the long haul, to be able to take advantage, to create the framework within your company to take advantage of the shifting environment, the shifting economy, shifting expectations that we see in businesses and in consumers. So consider that. It's great news. Sorry, but I think, to be honest, I'll cut you some slack. If you've been watching Wolfswatch for any length of time, be willing to bet you've got at least a shot, but you got to pay attention to those 3 things. Otherwise, you're going to miss this golden opportunity to bring talent on board that will make you the envy of your industry. Well, thanks for being part of Wolfswatch. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you on the trail.